Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. Today, we will dive into a very exciting topic, bold learning, resilient growth, Kellanova's award-winning journey. This session is eligible for HRCI, SHRM, and ATD professional development credits. Before we dive into today's content, let me tell you about Brennan Hall Group and some incredible opportunities that could accelerate your career. Brennan Hall Group is a leading professional development firm that has been serving learning, talent, and HR executives worldwide for more than 30 years. We've advanced the growth and performance of millions of employees and leaders through our cloud-based platform, delivering evidence-based research, data, and certification programs that empower organizations to achieve excellence in every area of human capital management. Our impact spans to more than 10 million employees and executives globally, supported by our comprehensive research library, strategic insights, and prestigious awards program. Below is a sample of the organizations we are proud to partner with. We have incredible learning and networking opportunities. Registration is open for our HCM Excellence Conference happening next year, February 9th through 12th. This is where the top minds in human capital management come together. We also have our BRIC event happening next year, our AI Summit on October 15th and 16th, and our Women in Leadership event on November 18th next year. We also invite you to participate in our research studies. Links will be available after the webinar, or you can always visit brennanhall.com. Once the results are analyzed, all participants receive a piece of complimentary research and other exclusive benefits. All details and applications for everything I've mentioned will be available in a PDF you'll receive within 24 hours after this webinar. I'm excited to share more about the Brennan Hall Group Excellence Awards, 4 prestigious programs recognizing organizational excellence. The Technology Awards recognize solution providers in learning, talent management, and workforce technologies, launching April 20th with the September 4th deadline. Our Education Technology Awards celebrate K-12, universities, and education associations transforming learning, following the same April to September timeline. The Excellence in Action Awards spotlight organizations of all sizes that prioritize employee voices and create people-centric cultures, with 2025 announcements on December 10th and the 2026 program launching in May. Finally, the HCM Awards honor innovation in training, learning, and HR, launching January 5th with an April 10th deadline. Whether you're an HR team, technology provider, educational institution, or organization committed to employee engagement, there's a Brennan Hall Group Award designed to recognize your achievements and elevate your reputation in the industry. Now, just a few quick things to note. If you have any questions during the webinar, please use the questions panel on your control bar. We'll be answering them throughout the session. We're also recording today's webinar, and you'll receive an email within 24 hours with the link to the recording and a PDF of the slides. The chat box is open, so feel free to share your thoughts as we go along. Your input makes this more valuable for everyone. Now, I would like to pass things off to Rachel Cook, our COO at Brennan Hall Group, who will take it over from here.
Thank you, Ivy, and hello, everyone. Welcome today, would like to warmly welcome Nicole Kramer, Senior Manager Commercial Capabilities at Kellanova. Hello, Nicole. How are you?
I'm doing great. Good morning, everybody.
And I'm excited for you to share with our attendees today about your award-winning programs, and particularly Kellanova received in 2024 a Gold Award for Best Advance in Education delivered through technology for Brand 101 Sparked Continued Innovation. Also, a Gold Award in 2025 for Best Custom Content, and another Bronze Award in 25 for Best Learning Program supporting a Transformation Business Strategy. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you for honoring us with those awards. I am sharing my screen. Can everybody see?
I can.
Amazing. Great. Thank you. Well, welcome everybody. I'm Nicole Kramer, and I'm really excited to share my story today. It's really about a team resilience and how we failed fast. We doubled down. We powered through rejection. We remained persistent, and we pushed through all of that hard work to make sure that everyone that we were supporting and developing learning for continued to learn, grow, and thrive. So with that, I wanted to say that these 3 consecutive Brandon Hall Awards that were provided or were given to us or awarded to us aren't just trophies for us on a shelf or invisible digital shelf, but instead they are proof that this is our team's work coming together and really trying to create creativity and connectivity within our organization. Each one of these projects showed how we could be bold and how we could transform learning from traditional ways of learning to really pushing the boundaries with VR, XR, different learning technologies, gamified learning, and just other creative ways to drive ambassadorship. We scaled that learning through a social learning platform that was the third award that we won, which was Tigerhall, which I'll talk a little bit about today, and how that connected, that social learning platform connected ourselves with the leaders around the world. Kellanova spans several regions, so it was really great to have thought leaders from around the world, visibility to them and their leadership style and what they've been working on with our unique and legacy type brands. So with that, like I mentioned before, we knew that learning was truly important, and we had to be super competitive within ourselves as a team to be able to create a social learning platform, as well as a learning environment that showed people that we believe that you are also our competitive advantage. And we needed to create that learner mindset. And in order to be able to do that, we had to unfreeze certain processes and learnings in place, change what needed to happen, what worked well, what didn't, what do we need to shift into a new way of learning, and then rephrase that and really understand how to make that learning stick. And with that, that came with different measurements on pre and post assessments, as well as different feedback that we would get from key stakeholders to make sure whatever we did and however we built it, and especially if we were moving into that digital innovation space, that we had key stakeholders aligned all the way through. And in order to do that successfully, we really had to have a learning value proposition. So with every key stakeholder that we met in any meeting or setting that we had, where we were bringing in a new idea, we had to have this vision in front of them. They had to understand that our team was here and will be here to be that driving force that builds knowledge capital for the organization. And it truly was something that every one of us on the team needed to believe and also embody to help others see and learn that learning is the way of the future. Learning does drive performance, and we need help. We need to help them see that vision come true. And Brand 101 was really that project that sparked that movement. This is a beautiful story of over 41 people cross-functionally coming together, wanting to share a memory they had in their mind, look through a SharePoint site they haven't seen in a while, dust off an old book, get an old Teams meeting down from another SharePoint site. It was just truly magic in the making of everyone wanting to tell the stories of these legacy brands. And what stemmed from, typical of I'm a new person, I've joined your company, I need to learn more about your brands, to I have been here for decades and I still don't feel that connection, or maybe I've lost that connection. All those steps in between, we were able to cover that and unfold a beautiful story for each one of our top brands. And so you see here, we've got a great story to tell with accountability on 76% completion rate and over 400 people going through this experience. And that story is a great story because typically when we launched this, and we launched it before a national sales meeting, the typical completion rate of any e-learning before a major event like that one with sales executives was around 30%. And this was optional learning. So for us to be able to more than double the completion rate on an optional e-learning just showed proof that this is learning that can be powerful. This is fun learning, and this is learning that people love. And they were taking it on their phones because it was easily accessible in the airports, or they were sitting down and taking this e-learning with their families and really getting a kick out of all the fun gamified elements that came to be. So people loved it, and we thought, okay, this is going to work. How do we continue this journey? And so the global team then reached out and said, let's deep dive on one particular brand. Cheez-It has a lot going on for itself this year, as well as for the years to come. So let's see if we can amplify this and create a special e-learning just for Cheez-It, shorter but impactful, and let's make it pre-work to an in-person, one-day, full academic academy event. And we did that. So that team was about a little over 10 people from different functions as well as global exposure with different R&D folks that were involved as well. And we came together to think through, okay, what has worked in the past? Has there ever been one? And what could be different in the future? We thought through all of the little details. So down to the food that you would be consuming had to be Cheez-It inspired, and the activities and the tasting and the innovation activities had to really drive that brand persona, which is, absurdity and fun of full of flavor and super crunchy. So every person walked away from that one day experience craving Cheez-Its if they weren't full of it throughout the day. So it was really, really amazing. And, we felt confident. Again, we nailed something. And more importantly, we had the quantitative facts to prove it. So the Brand 101 e-learning did increase knowledge by 20%. And we did that again from a pre and a post assessment. And Cheez-It e-learning did a 7% increase, again with the pre and post assessments that were embedded in. And as you can see here, this is the brand Cheez-It Academy coming to life. So everyone was equipped with a participant guide. We've covered all facets of the brand's purpose, how the product is made, to how do we how do we market that product, and how do we bring that product to life in the shopper's experience and the shopper journey. And where does it fit all through all the extra moments in the day? And how might we be able to capture those moments and really live up to the brand's potential and honestly what it deserves? This brand has been here over 100 years, and it is in more than 50% of our households in the US. So how do we keep that brand alive and strong for a whole nother century to come? Each person also walked away with a certificate of completion and a cheesy line to celebrate their day on social media, which was also great. But through all of that fun, we were also going through a moment of transformation, and we frankly are still going through a moment of transformation. So as you see here, Kellogg had announced it's going to be focusing on its snacking portfolio and rebranded itself a legacy brand to Kellanova. And here we are as Kellanova, really trying to show that our brands deserve to show up just as strong as some of the greatest brands known in the world. And we do so by teaching and advocating with our social learning platform, Tigerhall. So the Brand 101, the Cheez-It Academy, all of those contents that we created and curated on our own or in collaboration with others, we started to log them or put them into here as a second place to find content outside of our LMS. This social learning platform is completely optional, and our sales organization drove 92% adoption, which tells us it's a huge, huge platform that our people want to be a part of. They are really curious about learning about ourselves and learning about our brands. But then the thing that is great about this platform is it gives us exposure to other companies, other industries, and also other things outside of our professional environment. Gives us tips and tricks on personal well-being, financial well-being, social well-being. It really touches on a lot of our big key values as a company. And so people started to see that value. And in a moment of transformational change when you don't know where you're going to be tomorrow, this was a platform that really spoke and resonated to a lot of the people within our organization. And we met them where they were at. This platform can be available on your phone, and you can download it on your computer as well as on your tablet. So we really thought we nailed it when we had a partnership with this company and be able to put our content there. And that's the impact that we've made, really honoring our company's legacy and truly telling our people, we believe in you, we will invest in you, you are our competitive advantage, and we will keep driving that learning agenda. And we thank you, Brandon Hall leaders, and for all that you saw that value as well. It further validates the work that we are doing, and that it tells us that we're right on track. And we know that our impact is clear. We know that we are building brand ambassadorships and we're driving some tech-enabled growth. And that's, to us, pretty powerful. So we are glad that we are the driving force that now builds bold learning. And as you can see there, we've got some stats to prove it. So bold learning also, though, is a shared journey. So I leave you with this parting quote. Future isn't something that happens to us. It's something we shape together. So I challenge everyone on this call to keep learning, growing, and thriving with your peers and your families and us as a community. And yeah, I will turn it back over to you, Rachel. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to speak on behalf of our company and our team's work.
Thank you, Nicole. And you have you were so well articulated in your process in describing the value and also the history behind it. I jotted down a couple of your words that you used that connected with me, especially after having a leadership event yesterday. We were focused around intentional being bold as leaders. And so you described it in how you developed your learning. And so I commend you, which I didn't, when we were kind of prepping for this, it's just interesting how you put it all together, especially after coming off of a leadership event yesterday, really kind of calls to me, what a great job that you and your team have done also, being intentional about the learning and bringing it to where your learners are, and then the storytelling. It really is a true form of excellence.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, we put a lot of heart and soul into everything that we do and always trying to think of the audience at the end of the day, And as with our team is a great team and has some healthy debates along the way on what that could look like. But at the end of the day, when we get the feedback that we get and that we've gotten so far, it tells me that we are on the right track. We are doing the right things and we have the right processes in place too as a team to pull these things off because they're big things, they're not small feats and there's a lot of work that goes behind the scenes to get to where we've gotten together.
Especially as large and global as your organization, to be able to scale and to be able to measure the impact, not just retention, but how this ties into your core values and how you're driving not just passive learning, but you're driving a learning that they want to do, right? They want to engage, and so, and especially when anytime you make something optional, that's even more hard to be able to get people to do it and to be able to enjoy it when they have so much stuff going on in their day-to-day lives, right? Whether it's
Correct.
we all busy.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
have to say how we're busy, but we're all busy.
Yes. Yes, for sure.
Well, let's go to our polling question, and then we'll open it up to some questions to all of you here. If you all could just take a quick moment here, we'd like to just kind of gauge if you're interested in learning more about our Institute membership, our awards program, or our upcoming HCM Excellence Conference. Please take a moment to respond, and then we'll open it up to all of you to ask some questions here if you should have any. And Ivy, has everybody responded? And if so, you can just go ahead and close this out and we'll open up to some questions. Thank you. And Nicole, do you have, let me ask around the measurement of the impact, and you discussed, the retention and like pretty much tripling in completion rates. How did you measure, can you go a little bit further? How did you measure the impact of your learning initiatives and what metrics were most meaningful for demonstrating success? You touched on it, but maybe if you can expand on it a little bit more.
Yes, for sure. I think typical measurements that have been, something very common in at this company and even in previous roles has been, did they do it or not? Yes or no, yes. You always wanted to try to get 100% of the completion rate. I think what really turned the dial here was the fact that we thought through what does learning look like after they take this experience? What do they know about this brand before they take this e-learning, and how does that grow? And so the brand knowledge increase was a metric that came through several discussions. And a couple members on our team, were very passionate or have had extreme experience in this type of measurement in L&D in the past. So it was more about, all right, what are the type of questions that we're going to ask at the beginning of the e-learning? And what are those same questions that we'll ask at the end? So really the thought came around the types of questions. What do we want to seek out of it? Not what year was Cheez-It made versus, where is Cheez-It reside today, or how big is Cheez-It in the US as a typical question. That shows more strategic knowledge growth from before they took it to after. And I think that was one that we really honed in on. That's the quantitative that I like to stick to. The qualitative, I think, was something that was just a surprise. I think that people would have said, it's cool. That's nice. It's fun. But the anecdotes that they gave me on how they took their e-learning, where they took it, I really pulled insights from the experiences and the stories that they were telling as they were unfolding how they experienced the e-learning, that I thought that truly brings the picture, it rounds out the picture, I guess I could say. They enjoyed it, they engaged with the content, they stayed with the content. So the experience is 35 minutes. On top of the 76% completion, we had 100% of them completing it all the way through. So, and the way the e-learning was set up is you could pick the certain brand that you want to start with, and then the wrapper's closed, and when you finish the course, the wrapper shows the product unfolded. Well, to have people to stay active and go through all of those components, I thought was amazing. They actually did it. I didn't think that people would actually complete all of them. So that was another measurement that just was a surprising one to come out at the end. I wasn't intending on tracking that, but when looking at the data, it was great to see. So it showed me from an engagement standpoint, that was a bonus.
And, sometimes we always say, it's just not a matter of completion to look at, and you looked at so much more than that. But I think your case is unique in that completion is a driver here, even though we always say, well, it's not about completion, but especially when it's optional, and then you see the other results that it's tied to. I don't know about you, but you're making me hungry. You're making me want to go get some cheese.
I'm glad. That's great.
So you're doing a great job there. And then also I have a question around adoption. Um, how did you get your organization to adopt the platform Tigerhall, and what kind of challenges um, did you have, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, I know when the platform launched, I was not part of the Kellanova company, but I know when they launched it, even then as optional, it reached a 76% right off the bat. And they were also, it had just gotten the announcement that this would potentially happen where they would go from Kellogg to, a split between the two companies, or the portfolios were splitting. So what it told me then was, and as I learned as I was getting onboarded with that the people are in a tough spot, and they are looking for something, whether it's information on another industry that they might be interested, because this might be a pivotal moment in their career where they're going to try something new, or they want to stay and they just want to sharpen up a different skill to be able to be prepared for a new role that may be opening up for them here, or well-being, just in general sense. I need to know to make, how to sleep better. What are those habits? What do those look like? The way that the team marketed that and launched that product, that this is something that can meet your need wherever you're at. If you're walking your dog or if you're working on your computer, if you're updating your resume, this platform has answers for you. The way they did that was so great. So what we made sure once I joined the team as well is don't let up. Be persistent, push the agenda forward, keep talking about it on every meeting, every call, every opportunity that you have. Because the thing is, a lot of people just didn't know about it, or maybe they weren't there on that change curve where they needed that piece in their life, and that changes as well. So it's just, you never know, the curve, ebbs and flows. And any opportunity that we had, we were just always talking about it, and we still do. And then we show results. We also have a cadence where we meet with the vendor once a week. So we have dashboards that can show where we're growing, what content people are looking at, what are they interested in, how do we target the best content for next month and the following month, how do we look at this information and curate or create new training even in an area where we're starting to see a common theme and a need that our organization is searching for. How do then we again continue to be that driving force that's one step ahead, because it's our responsibility and our job, frankly, to make sure that we are experts in this space. So I think that's what got it to 76 to 92. And hey, why not strive for 100, hopefully by next year.
I love it. I love it. It's great. And you're certainly doing great work. And I can see why you received a gold for transformation or custom content. And there's just so much going on. So thank you for sharing, Nicole. And thank you, everyone, for joining us and learning more about their approach to learning and their bold approach to learning. Innovatives, and I can't wait to see what's more. So thanks so much and enjoy your day. Stay warm in Chicago.
Thank you.
And thank you again, everyone, for joining us. And we'll see everyone soon, hopefully at our Excellence Conference in February.
Sounds great. Thanks. Take care.
Take care.